Now, President Bola Tinubu has urged young protesters to cancel their planned demonstrations, assuring them that the government is actively addressing their concerns. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, conveyed this message after a meeting with the President at the State House. He emphasized that President Tinubu takes the grievances of the youth seriously. Idris highlighted the government's recent actions, such as the swift approval of a new national minimum wage by the National Assembly, as proof of the president's commitment to improving the country's future. This appeal comes amid growing public discontent and calls for nationwide protest next month in response to economic hardship and policy decisions.
We also discussed the issue of the country generally, and Mr. President has asked me to, again, inform Nigerians that he listens to them, especially the young people that are trying to protest. Mr. President is listening to them. He takes what they say seriously and is working assiduously to ensure that this country is good, not just for today, but also for the future. The issue of the planned protest, Mr. President does not see any need for that. He's asked them to shelve that plan. He's asked them to await government's response to all their pleas. He has listened to them, like I said, and a lot is happening. Only today, the National Assembly has expeditiously passed the new national minimum wage. You can see how the president is working. It was transmitted only yesterday. Today it has been passed. A lot of other interventions that the president has also put in place are also going to be looked at expeditiously in the interest of Nigeria. So there's no need for strike. The young people out there should listen to the president and allow the president more time to see to the realization of all the goodies he has for them.
Well, Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss President Tinubu's appeal for a stay of action on the planned nationwide anti-hardship protest. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
Pleasure being here as usual.
Of course, great to have you as always. Of course, we heard an excerpt there saying that the president doesn't see any need for a protest, but this is not, he's on the receiving end. So even though he's making, all these moves are being made by this administration, if they're not being felt by the Nigerian people and they feel the need to protest, is this the right approach for the government to take in terms of...
Which one are you talking about? Is it the government or the protest? Which one is the right approach?
I'm asking you if this call for the president, by the president saying that Nigerian youth should shelve the protests, is this the right call to make?
Of course, it is. How do I put it? He is at his wit's end, Peter's end. He's literally begging. You get me? Because he knows what is on the ground. And he's a political leader, he's a democratic leader. He must respond to the wishes of those who put him in power. So it is in order for him to plead and beg, which is what he's doing. Does that answer the first question? Next one.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, now my question is that, protest is, of course, a legal and constitutional means in any democracy to express your dissatisfaction or to advocate for something. Why is this one so contentious? And how else will... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it is contentious because the planner said they will be on strike for 10 days. That's an insurrection or uprising. If you want to protest, you go out on the street, you do it lawfully with the protection of the police, and you go back home. For 10 days, it's like seizing the state. But no government will allow that.
Is there a constitutional provision for how long protests should last?
That's right. No. If a protest goes on for 10 days, it is contravening the Constitution. People don't have right of movement. People don't have right to go to work. People don't have so many things that they have to do. In case you do not know, I've had some people say that if protesters get near them, they will protect their property. And the Inspector General of Police have said that people have right of protest, they will protect them. But if they vandalize public property, the law will take its course. In a democracy, the right of dissent is inherent, it is constitutional. You get me? But there is a fundamental right of nature too, that your own freedom, hence where my nose begins.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, given Nigeria's current economic challenges, how realistic are President Tinubu's promises to address youth grievances? Because in truth, all we usually hear from those who speak for the president is be patient. But to appeal for patience without a timeline, it doesn't seem to sit well with the youth.
If soccer, political soccer, is not coming in a timely, timely manner, people get frustrated. That is why they are protesting. It is their right. And it is the duty of government to make sure that their hunger and anger are appeased. That is why this president is pleading. I pity him. He is pleading. But you see, the Yorubas have a saying that the stealth of the tiger is not a sign of cowardice. But see, when you talk of stealth, you talk of something being done in secrecy. This man is pleading for understanding and support, especially understanding first, that in spite of all his efforts, things are not coming out positively as he expected. That was what the Minister of Information was trying to say. You know all the efforts they have put on the ground. But these things, like I always say, they don't germinate in a day. You get me? The havoc had been done over the years, inherited by them. I mean, I'm not the one to hold brief for any government. But it is the duty of any government to cater for its people. And at the same time, it is the duty of any government to make sure that the rule of law prevails and that nobody uses force to vandalize property or to intimidate government. Let's leave it at that for now.
Some people are saying that in his time as an activist, he was allowed to protest at length and express his wishes and those of his colleagues, to great lengths. So, now the roles are reversed. What's your take on, this ironic situation we find ourselves in?
That is metamorphosis. You see, you seek power. You know how you seek power. You plead with people. You protest against the government of the day. You protest seriously against the government of the day. You don't have time on your side and all that. And then, when you get power, other people protest against you. That is politics, that's democracy. You get me? And that's activism. But it must be done within the ambits of the law. No property must be destroyed. And I query the length of it. Look, they have protests, like Netanyahu is in the US. There will be protesters every year he goes. But they don't sleep on the street. They don't say they will do it for 10 days. No. You protest on an issue and go. Don't sit on the street and paralyze government. Okay. That's not democracy.
Mr. Sobowale, with this administration, I think we have had you here acknowledging that we've seen a lot of trial and error in terms of policies and that have basically led us to where we are today. Would you, if you could advise the government from your perspective to have a rethink, a different approach in order to move things forward, would you have any suggestions that you would give them?
The only suggestion is they should move faster. They have all the palliatives, economic, socio-economic, health, infrastructure, all they have put, everything in the fire is for it to become some good broth of food that will go around and palliate the hunger and anger of people. Time, like I've always said, and you misquoted me the other time, but like I always said, time is not on the side of government. And that is why government is pleading. Government should not be pleading. Government should make policies. But this, Mr. President, is pleading. Get me? It's pleading. So don't let us use force to react to whatever I say. Nobody will enjoy anarchy. Remember how SARS ended? Our properties were destroyed. Good intention protesters, youths came out, but the thing was hijacked, and you had hoodlums and you have vandalism. No government can fold its hand and allow that to happen. No police system can fold its hand and allow that to happen. Let protesters protest legitimately, logically, in any way, but don't sleep on the streets and not vandalize government property, because we all use government property anyway.
And even private property as
Mm.
well.
Yes,
Well, I guess the onus is on the police to ensure that this protest is managed in a way that ensures that everybody else can carry on.
Sleep well.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Sobowale, thank you so much for your time and your input. We do always enjoy having you on the program.